What's happening, everybody? Good to see you again. It has been a little while since I made a book haul video or something like that. So today I have a bunch of books that I got from different places as well as through the mail, things like that. I did get a large haul that I had bid on eBay, and I already showed this one on Whatnot. We were doing a Whatnot show, and I decided to open it up for the people that were there on Whatnot. So some of you may have seen this already. If not, you should be there for the Whatnot shows so you don't miss out on things like that. It's pretty fun. All right, so the update is that I was wanting to do some audiobook stuff. Reading audiobooks. I was reading through Richard Matheson's The Shrinking Man, and I was posting that like one chapter at a time on YouTube, and I got copyright violation stuff from the lawyers that are in charge of Richard Matheson's estate, I believe. So I had to take those down. So unfortunate. I am wanting to get into reading audiobooks, or being a narrator, I should say, for audiobooks. So I was thinking about what I could do in the meantime. I'm right now starting to kind of get a audio setup where I have mic and, pop filters and just that kind of stuff. I need to get some more video recording equipment as well as computers. It's a long road, but I want to take you guys with me on that road if you want. So I'll probably, anything having to do with that, I'll probably put in another playlist where it'll be something you can watch, either what goes into making audiobooks, things like that. And then I was thinking about maybe doing something where I could post those that I read, where it would be okay and it's not something that could be taken down or that was an issue. So maybe like a Discord or like a Patreon type page or something where only certain people have access to it or something like that. I don't know. You guys can let me know if you got ideas. So I got a book haul today that came in the mail, and it arrived right before a Whatnot show that I had today. So I actually took a couple of the books out and sold them already. So this is only part of what was in that. One of them was Let's Go Play at the Atoms by Mendel Johnson. And that one I already have, and I actually already read it like a couple days ago. And so I figured, hey, what a good time to pass that along. One of the other ones I got was this one, Peregrine. And this is by William Bayer. And it's really, this person took a lot of notes. Even inside of the book, this is what they put. There's probably the name of the person, Tobias, and then it says there's gore, sexist, WTFery, useless man, and this one titles as a good sentence. Oh, so these are labels to coordinate with these ones. Okay, I see. So good sentence, WTFery, sexistness, and then there's a lot of highlighting in there too. They also wrote in the cover what date they got it and what they rated it. So they got this in back in 23, early 23, and they rated it 4 out of 5 stars. So that's kind of cool. Makes me a little more excited to read it, So Peregrine, A Flight into Terror. It's a Ballantine fiction. Probably horror, but a lot of times they classified them as fiction, and or maybe even thriller or something like that. So that's one of them. And then I got Master of the Undead by Hugo Paul, with the easy eye that they put in the largest letters on the covers so that people would know this is larger type. It has non-glare paper, so it's easier to read. They really emphasized this big old thing on there when they did that. So, and the person that same lot that I got this from, they got this one back in 2021 and read it in 24. Oh, only like 2 months ago they read it, and they rated it 1.5 out of 5. So Master of the Undead by Hugo Paul. If you guys agree with those ratings, or you've read these and you're like, no, that was actually good, let me know. So we'll see. I'm going to read a couple of them and then I'll see if I agree with their ratings. I also got Blood Mist, which is really cool. This is by Robert James, excuse me. And this one just says on the back, wrapped in a noxious fog, it glided silently over the southern Carolina countryside on a rampage of terror and death. It could not be killed, for it was already dead. It could not be stopped, for it was invincible. It could not be satisfied, for its lust was boundless. Ultimate horror lurks within the blood mist. Boom, boom, boom. They read this one in one day. So started it on March 30th, 2024 and finished it March 31st, 2024. Nice. And they rated this one 4 out of 5. So that's really cool. I got to add this person's eBay store so that I could buy more from them, get their ratings. So this one also was in there from Ramsey Campbell, The Nameless. And The Nameless, they rated at, looks like 1 out of 5. So that's not good. I've heard Ramsey Campbell's great. So I have not read any Ramsey Campbell yet. But anyways, and I may have this one already. I'm not 100%. Have not sorted through my horror collection in a while. This was the main reason that I bought this little lot. It's The Kill Riff by David Shao. I think that's how you say it. Shao. I don't know how you say it, but David J. Shao we'll go with. And this one I had been looking and following on eBay on a couple of them for a while. I think they were all over 50 bucks. And so I was kind of holding out on it. And this was in a lot of a bunch of other ones. And it ended up being, I think, 50 bucks for the whole lot. So it was kind of worth it. So I grabbed that one. Let's see. They rated this one, 4.25 stars out of 5. This one, let's see, took them. Didn't say how long they took to read that one though. So that's the majority of that bundle. Then I got some Aaron Bogard ones that were in that same bundle. Here's one of them. It's disturbing. So rated R cover. How about that? I don't know. This is Dark Assembly by Aaron Bogard. Grody. And this is a short story collection. They rated this one 4 out of 5 stars. So, and they read it in one day. So either they were just trying to get through it really fast or they were really into it. One of the two. I don't know. There's been a few books where I'm just like, I just want to finish this, so I'm going to read it fast and be done. Then I also got The Slob by Aaron Bogard. This is a very well-known book on YouTube, especially in the kind of extreme horror disturbing category. And they gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. So from that lot that I got today, or that haul that I got today, that's all that remains out of that one. So I also pre-ordered the latest Christopher Triana, and it showed up yesterday. I think it was yesterday it showed up, which doesn't matter to you because when this video comes out and it's been on YouTube for a month and a half, you'll have no idea what day yesterday was. So I'm the best. All right, this is the latest one. It was pre-ordered and it came the day that it was released. So Because You're Mine by Christopher Triana. And this one is also signed. So I have the majority of his books I have are signed. And it came with this cool thing. Look at that. And it's a pen. How cool is that? So I thought that was awesome. And then it came with some stickers and a bookmark and stuff like that too. So Because You're Mine by Triana. I have some seriously disturbing books coming up here in a second. So if you don't follow Criminali, you need to go follow Criminali. I'm sure everybody here that's watching me follows Criminali because he's got an awesome channel. But he did a tier list of like, I think it's, I want to say like 70 disturbing books or something like. It's a lot of disturbing books that he's read, and he did a tier list. And at the top of the tier list was like the S tier, some of the best ones, and I think there was like, I don't know, there was like maybe 8 or 9 at the top of the list. I forget, but one of them was Pillow Man, and I have never read this one, and I ordered the cover. There's another one with like a drawing on the cover, and that's the one I thought I was getting, and this one showed up. So, but Pillow Man, I think is like a play. I think that's what he said it was. Anyways, I had a bunch of the other ones on there, and I didn't have this one, so I got this so that I could read it. So that's one of them that I got. And I also ordered from Edward Lee the Big Heads Junk. So it's like a short story collection, I think, from Edward Lee. Oh no, it's 2 little novelettes. So Big Heads Junk and Your Everything, I think is the other one. Yeah, You Are My Everything. So there's 2 little like novelettes in here, and this one is part of this series, which is The Big Head by Edward Lee. And this is supposed to be a pretty darn disturbing one. I have not read this one, but I'm guessing that it ties also in with this one, which is Creakers, because in this book, a lot of them are called big heads. They're basically inbred, deformed people, and over the course of lots of inbreeding, they have developed all kinds of physical abnormalities, and it's twisted. So I have read this one already. I just picked it up or got it in the mail, like, I don't know, last week or whatever, and I already read it, and it was good. It was an enjoyable read, kind of predictable, but still good. It's a little bit like a detective story in a way, because the main guy is like a cop, and he's trying to figure out what's going on with some stuff, and it's a good read. It's sick, it's dark, it's twisted. It is not for the squeamish. And there's a lot of descriptive detail about like, I would guess it would be body horror in a way, because of all these inbred abnormalities in people's physical bodies. You know, like one of the guy has like I don't know, like extra long fingers with multiple like extra knuckles, you know, so his hands are all gangly, but also like can bend in weird ways that are not normal, you know, stuff like that. More than that, but anyways, Creakers, it's a good one, and I'm guessing that it kind of relates to this one, or there's like some crossover, and then this one definitely crosses over with that one. So those are Edward Lee's. So I think it was last year I read the first one of James Murray and Darren Wehrmouth's series, the It's Awakening, and then the other 2, the final 2 in the trilogy, I read this year, and I really loved their writing. I thought they were super fun, so I figured I'd grab whatever else they had, because I hadn't even heard of The Awakening. I found that by chance at a Goodwill or something, and I took a shot on it, and it was really good, like super good. It's, I don't know, it's just a good little sci-fi horror story. So James Murray's the guy on Practical Jokers. If you ever watch Practical Jokers. So he wrote these ones. And this is one of their other ones called Don't Move. And it's something it has to do with like having to do with spiders of some kind. So it's kind of a horror story as well. And then they also wrote The Stowaway. And there's another one I think that's coming out at the end of the year that they wrote, and I don't know if I pre-ordered it yet, or I'm going to pre-order it. So I really enjoyed their stuff. The other ones, The Awakening, I can't remember the other names of them right now, but if you really need to know, throw them in the comments later. Super good, so worth checking out. All right, so if you guys happen to watch that comic book haul that I had, I was talking about a friend of mine that I used to work with that did comics. He not when we were working together, but afterwards he went to school and got a degree and he's done a bunch of comics. He did, I remember it now, it was Stumptown, was one of the comics that he did, and it got turned into a TV show. Super good show. So sad they canceled it. Terrible. And so I started looking, and I was like, oh, I wonder what else he's done. Well, my man Justin Greenwood also did some comics that have to do with one of my favorite characters and shows and movies of all time, which is Army of Darkness or Evil Dead. That series, Ash versus Evil Dead, all that. He did Army of Darkness Forever comics. And so I went ahead and got them. And there's 6 of them. Look at how awesome. I couldn't believe it. I was like, you what? He did Army of Darkness stuff? Okay, I gotta get him. I gotta get him. I gotta get him. Look at this one. That one's awesome. I know the glare sucks, but... So anyways, I'm looking forward to reading through those. And excited to see my buddy's artwork in there. I also picked up in a little bundle. I was looking for some other ones at other comics, and I found some Alien ones. Those are the other ones that I wanted. So there's Aliens, and then this one is actually a duplicate, and I actually have a triplicate. And then there's Earth War, and another duplicate, and a triplicate. So I have several of these extra, so if anybody's interested, I'll put them on Whatnot for you or something. And then there's that one, and a duplicate, and then another Earth War. Then I went ahead and I've been slowly getting all of these ones. I have one, I think it's right here, and I think I showed you guys during the comic book time. Yeah. Some of these are high priced, some are not so high priced. When I looked before, it was like $50 or something, if I remember correctly. And now I think these are like 25 or 30, somewhere in there, depending on condition, obviously. So I went ahead and picked up and this one's number 4 out of 6, and I want to get all 6 at some point. And I went ahead and picked up number 1 out of the 6. So super cool. Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. There are a lot of variants on these ones. So price varies and all that. I also got Charlie the Choo Choo by Beryl Evans. If you know what this is, then you've probably read The Dark Tower. So this is the actual printed novelization of the book that is talked about in The Dark Tower. This actually plays a pretty significant role in books. Let's see if I can remember correctly. Books, I think it starts at book 2, 3, and then it's mentioned more in book 5 and 6, I believe, and possibly 7, but I haven't read 7 yet. So I know this comes about quite a bit, and I just felt like I had to have it. Like, I have to have this for my Stephen King collection, right? I mean, I'm not crazy, am I? Not crazy. I also found a copy of Star of Gypsies by Robert Silverberg, and well, that was anticlimactic, wasn't it? Signed by Silverberg. So another one to go to my signature collection. By the way, speaking of signatures, when we hit 1,000 subs here on YouTube and 1,000 followers on Whatnot, I'm going to do an all giveaway show on Whatnot, at least 20 books or so on there. Everything will be free, shipping, everything. It'll just be a straight giveaway for everybody as a thank you. And I plan on giving away at least 1 signed book as well. So that is my goal. And hopefully you guys can go follow on Whatnot and maybe share this around a little bit so that we can get some more subs so that we can do that giveaway show. I think that'll be fun. And you can give me some recommendations of some people you'd like to have a signed book from, and maybe I'll have one, or maybe I can find one for you. I think that'd be cool. So keep an eye out for that. As you guys probably know, Thomas Disch is one of my favorite authors. And Thomas Disch wrote a lot of poetry as well. He also wrote a lot of kids' books. And one of the kind of kids' book / poetry he wrote was The Tale of Dan DeLion. And you can actually find this on YouTube of him reading it like to a crowd. So if you want to hear Thomas Disch read this book, it's available. I read through it already just because I wanted to, and it was super quick and easy, and it's just a fun little story. There's illustrations, and the illustrations are from Rhonda McClune, and it's just a nice little fun poetry kids type book. So I got that to add to my Thomas Disch collection, which is up there, which you cannot see right now. Yeah, I'm slowly getting everything that he's ever, well, probably not everything he's ever written, but everything that's been released, I guess. So I have a lot more to go, but I'm slowly picking up stuff here and there. I also got this one, and this one is wrapped very nicely. I did not have this anthology of Utopian SF, and so it is the new improved Sun, and this one has quite a few authors in it. Let's see here, and it is a first edition, and it is edited by Thomas Disch, and it's signed by Thomas Disch. So that one was pretty exciting. I think I have like, I don't know, 8 books signed by Disch now, something like that. Quite a few. So in this, there's several authors. I'll show you, or I'll say them to you. I showed you already. I'll say them now. One by Thomas Disch called Buck Rogers in the New Jerusalem. John Sladek, Charles Naylor, Brian Aldiss, James Kilty, Joanna Russ, Cassandra Nye, Eleanor Arnason, John Harrison, B.F. Skinner, Harry Harrison, and another by Thomas Disch. And oh, there's even more here. Jonathan Greenblatt, Gene Wolfe, and H.G. Wells. So there's quite a few great authors in this one. So I'm going to save that big old haul of kind of disturbing horror books to the end. I got a little bit more here that I'm going to show you, and then we'll move on to that. So I also picked up Slime from John Halkin. Been wanting this one for a while, and I have so many horror books I need to read, and I'm just slow going at it. That's one of them that I'm excited to get to. The Explorers by C.M. Kornbluth. I have several Kornbluth books, but this is the one that I did not have. Unfortunately, it arrived and it's pretty much split down the middle, and I was not aware of that when I ordered it, but that's okay. It's all good. I might try to repair this one. If I do that, do you guys want to see like if I repair a book, like if I sit there and I like spend time repairing something and taking the cover off and fixing the spine and all that stuff, would you guys want to see like a ASMR type video of that? I don't know if that's technically ASMR or what, but all right. So someone also recommended The Island by Richard Lehman, and I didn't have this one. I have a ton of Richard Lehman books, and this was one of the few that I didn't have, so I went ahead and grabbed it because it was a recommendation, and I thought, why not? I like when people tell me, hey, that's good, you should read it, and then I get a chance to. So I went ahead and picked it up. I also grabbed this one, The Best SF Stories. The Best SF Stories from New Worlds, number 2. And the reason I grabbed this one is because it has a Thomas Disch short story in it as well. This one is not signed or anything. But it has 3 short stories actually from Disch: The Contest, The Empty Room, and The Descent of the West End. And I have a lot of short story collections from him, but I just wanted to have kind of each one that he was printed in at some point. So I went ahead and grabbed that one. This one I am so excited to read. You have no idea. I can't wait to get to this one. I think it's gonna be a blast. All right, so Event Horizon, the novel. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I went on a little bit of a Thomas Dish kick here, picking up some stuff I didn't have. I also picked up this one, which is Worlds of Fear. And this one has several authors in it. George R. Martin, Thomas Hardy, and it has Thomas Dish is why I picked it up. But I also picked it up for this. It has Who Goes There by John Campbell, which is the inspiration for The Thing. It's the novel that he wrote. Originally, I think it was in the late 20s that he wrote it. If I'm remembering correctly, it was for a magazine, and it got turned into The Thing. There's an expanded version that you can pick up called Frozen Hell, which is some found sort of extra chapters for that they found in his estate after he died. And it's turned into kind of a little book that you can buy. And it's really good. If you haven't read Who Goes There, it's a great little story. The Thing obviously is one of the best movies of all time too. Another one by Ted Sturgeon in here, Elizabeth Engstrom, Frederick Pohl, and Gertrude Atherton as well. So that was one that I grabbed. Then I also grabbed The Man Who Had No Idea by Thomas Dish. This one I have been wanting for a while. Most of the time when I'd find it on there, it was like destroyed, like completely like bent out of shape and crinkled, and half the page ripped off or something. So this one's like really clean, and that's kind of why I got it. And there are several short stories in here, so quite a few shorts from Dish in there. So he did write a lot of short stories. And so looking forward to getting into that one too. Then I also picked this one up, and I've read it already because I'm really into the audiobook thing right now, like being an audiobook narrator. And someone had forget where I was looking and reading some research, and they said this is like one of the best things that you could read. Super good. And it is a how to be an audiobook narrator. It's called Storyteller, from Lorelei King and Ali Muirden. And this is like the companion script that goes along with like a podcast or something like that. So I will probably reread this. I'll probably listen to the podcast and read it at the same time. This may be one of the few books that I actually annotate, and so that I can do as much research as I can, and then start practicing and learning how to do audiobook narration. So I don't like to waste time by doing things twice, as if I can help it. So I try to get as much information as I can before I start something. All right, you guys ready? This is the big boys. So if you're into disturbing reads or things like that, you'll probably like this stuff here. So I'll just grab them out little bits at a time, I guess. Here, I'll grab the big ones, some of the big ones first. All right. Well, this one I wouldn't consider as disturbing. The other day I opened this box on Whatnot, and then I knocked over my coffee right before the stream, and it just went boom all over my desk, all over my pants, all over the floor, and it splattered on a couple books, and it almost went directly into this box. And oh my goodness, I was so scared. I am so glad I didn't just dump coffee all over this whole box, because it was an expensive box. All right. So I don't think this one is disturbing, but I am very excited to read it because I loved Bird Box. And I don't know if people call Bird Box disturbing. I don't think so, but I thought Bird Box was a fantastic book. I love the movie too. And so I'm looking forward to reading this one. It's Mallory by Josh Mallerman. And I believe it takes place in the same world of Bird Box. I mean, her name was Mallory, so in the first one. So, and this is a publisher's copy, special edition, signed and limited to the publisher. And it is signed right there. Special edition by Mallerman and Ben Baldwin. So that's pretty cool. It's gonna be a bit of a theme here. I can't believe I won this one. This box has a lot of stuff in it, and it was, I think it was at like $47 for like I don't know, almost the whole week. It was on eBay. And I put a timer on and everything because it ended in the morning. So I got up to do this and I did my timer so that I could try to win the auction. I calculated what I thought some of these books were worth. And then I've kind of picked a number that I was like comfortable with trying to get it at, which the value is way over what I bought it for, like way over what I bought it for. But I picked a number I was comfortable with, like, okay, if I get it for this, then super deal and totally worth it. And I had fun set aside for it. So it was at like $47 or something. And I did my thing where I put in the highest bid. I waited till there was like 2 seconds left or 3 seconds left, hit it. And I watched within that 3 seconds, it went, it went from 47 all the way up to like 287. And I had put in 300. And so I got it for 287 or whatever it was. It was pretty unreal. So I was stoked that I got it. And this is one of the ones that I was like actually like anxiously waiting for this auction to end. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'll wait for it, and then I'll forget about it, and I don't care. This one I was like watching all week, like super excited. So also in it is The Living Dead by George A. Romero, and from George A. Romero's estate, really, and Daniel Kraus. And I read a Daniel Kraus book last year. It's called Wrath. It has to do with like a rat type thing that, well, they do experiment. They do some experiments on this rat, and it's in the vein of like Rats from James Herbert, but not really. So anyways, if you like that kind of stuff, it's a good book. It's totally worth reading. It was a unknown book to me. I found it for like $1 at a thrift store, and I was like, well, that cover looks cool. So I grabbed it and I was like, wow, I'm going to read it. And it was good. So Daniel Kraus. So I know I like his writing already. This one is also a special edition, limited to 400 copies, and this is the publisher's copy. I'm pretty sure that's what PC stands for. If I'm wrong, you can let me know. And this one is signed. I just kind of glazed right past that, by Susan Romero, Daniel Kraus, Vincenzo Natali, and Francois Vaillancourt. So 4 authors signed on this special edition, publisher's print, limited copy, special edition awesomeness of Living Dead. Okay. I mean, so far, that's pretty dope. I also got this one called Short. This was in that same bundle. This is by Michael Blumlein, and this is collected short fiction of Michael Blumlein. This one is a special edition, limited to 750 copies, and this one is copy number 70. This one is not signed, and it has several short stories in there. The Explosion of a Chandelier by Damian Murphy. This one is a special limited edition to 240 copies, and this one is number 92 out of 240. I don't know anything about this one at all. I'm assuming it has to do with something in the horror genre because it's with this bundle. That would be my guess. I don't know. Okay, these two are kind of gross. So this one's PG-13. All right, this is Bloody Bones Horror number 1, Horror of the Blood Devils by Tim Curran. And this one is limited to 100 signed and numbered trade paperbacks. This one doesn't have a number on it, so maybe it's a publisher's one. And it is Tim Curran signed, as well as Michael Squid, which I believe is the illustrator, if I'm not mistaken. Cover art by Michael Squid, yeah. So signed by both of them. This one's the gross one, so just a heads up. This one is Horrors of War by Tim Curran, with the wraparound grossness. Okay, and these are all by Weird House Press. And look at this inside illustration too. Oh my goodness, that's pretty wild. Pretty wild. And this is artwork by Brad Moore, and this one's limited to 150 signed and numbered, and this one's number 149, and it's signed by Tim Curran and Brad Moore. Okay, Haley Piper. This is Cranberry Cove. I've never heard of this one. It has the feel of like a extreme horror type book. This same print, this same way they're made, and Cranberry Cove, and it is signed by Haley Piper. So I don't know anything about this. If you've read this one, let me know. It's one I'm not familiar with. This one I have heard of a lot on all over YouTube. I think Criminale had this one on his list, if I remember correctly. I'm not 100%, but I think so. And this one has, unfortunately, like the printing thing where it didn't. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see it there. Like where the press came down, but it didn't quite pinch it all the way off there. And it's got like a lump on the side, so whatever. It's fine. It's not damaged or anything. And then signed, what are these called? I forget what they're called. Bookplate. Bookplate? Signed author bookplate, I think is what they're called. I don't remember what I've heard about this one, if it's good or not, so you can let me know about that too. I'll have to go rewatch Criminale's thing and see that again. You guys should go, seriously, you guys should go check out. So this is translated by Brian Stableford, and as I was looking at this and several others, he's done a lot of this translation stuff. This is Ratchild, the Princess of Darkness. So he did quite a few translated things that I found. I wasn't aware of that. And this is a hardcover edition, limited to 100 copies. So not signed or anything, but it is a limited 100 copy book. This one is from Joe R. Lansdale and Keith Lansdale, which I would assume is his son. I don't know for sure. This one's called Big Lizard, a novel. And it's a hardcover, and it's got some great illustration on the inside. Look at that. That's so cool. Super cool. And this one is also a special signed edition, limited to 1,500 copies, and this is copy number 10. And it's signed by Joe and Keith on there. So really cool. And I think there's a lot of illustrations in this one. Yeah, there's quite a few illustrations in this one as well. So just stuff like that. So that's awesome too. All right. Well, there's still more. So anyways, this one, Dark Wars, the Tale of Meiji Dracula. And I don't know anything about this one. Hideyuki Kikuchi is the author. Hideyuki Kikuchi. Illustrations by Katsuya Terada, author of Vampire Hunter D. So, and there's also Vampire Hunter D Omnibus Book 1 in this bundle. I'm not a Vampire Hunter D person. I have not read really any of these or watched the show or anything. So there's also this, The Descent and Other Strange Stories by Joshua Rex. Another one I'm not familiar with as well. But it's like a short story collection. This one is not limited or signed or anything like that. It's just a trade paperback edition, and has roughly about 10-12 short stories in it. So looks pretty cool. There's also this one, The Crow Witch and Other Conjurings by Catherine Cavendish. This one's also a trade paperback size as well. This one is limited and signed, limited to 125. It is number 77, and it's signed by Kat Cavendish. There you go. So super cool. There's quite a few signed ones in here, huh? And then this one looked really neat, actually. Stefan Grabinski's Orchard of the Dead and Other Macabre Tales. It's a hardcover edition, translated by Anthony Ciccione. And I believe this one's like a special edition one, too. Nope, this one, oh yeah, it is. Special hardcover edition, strictly limited to only 300 copies for sale. And they are all marked first edition on the copyright page. So this is out of 300. The Wolfen by Whitley Strieber, hardcover. I have this one in paperback already, and I'll probably just keep the hardcover version. It is a first edition, and first edition, first print by Whitley Strieber, The Wolfen. It's got that nice mylar wrap on it. I don't know anything about this one either. Nafondo by Monica Ojeda. And it says translated by Sarah Booker. I don't know if anybody's read that or know anything about that. Love to hear your thoughts. This one looked cool. I'm gonna read this one real soon here. I've been into short stories lately a lot. I don't know why. So I've been reading all these little short ones and all like, you know, compilations of short stories. So this one's called The Visible Filth by Nathan Ballingrud. And this one is, I don't think this one was signed. Let's see. Yeah, no, this one's not signed. Copyright 1915 and printed from This Is Horror. So there's that. Jakarta. I think I've seen this one floating around YouTube. People mentioning it, but I don't remember anything about it. By Rodrigo Marquez Tizano and translated by Thomas Bunstead. So several translated books in here. And I don't know much about this one either, but these are all like really clean too, like super like fresh off the press kind of clean. This one's a pretty darn good one too. Noctuary and Spectral Link by Thomas Ligotti. This is a special edition, and I think this one's pretty darn valuable on eBay. I think this is one of the ones I was looking up going, well, that'll cover most of what I paid for it if I decide to sell it. This one is just a really nice, brand new. It is not signed or anything, so that's awesome. Doomsdays by Jeffrey Thomas. Not one that I've heard of before, but there are 22 little apocalypses in this, it says on the back. And this is the only one that I found that has anything really kind of wrong with it. Out of all of them, it has a little dot on the side and a little slight ding right there. But other than that, good shape. I don't know anything about this. Never heard of this one. And then last, but certainly not least, super clean. Look at this cover. Nightmare's Realm. New Tales of the Weird and Fantastic. Edited by S.T. Joshi. This is definitely a special edition. Deluxe edition. Signed by a ton of people. Limited, numbered. This is number 83. It's signed by Ramsey Campbell, David Barker, Caitlin Kiernan, Jason Brock, Richard Gavin, Reggie Oliver, Gemma Files, Nancy Kilpatrick, John Shirley, John Langdon, Daryl Schweitzer, Steve Tem, W.H. Pugmire, Simon Stranzis, S.T. Joshi, Donald Tyson, Samuel Araya, and Stephen Woodworth. Whoa. So this is pretty awesome. Signed by all the authors in their short story collections on the inside. So that's it. My signed collection just got a lot bigger. So I'm going to pass along a signed book at some point. I haven't decided which ones I'm going to do yet. I'll probably try to, maybe I'll do more than one, and maybe I'll do like a one signed one that's like fantasy, one that's like sci-fi, one that's horror maybe, or something like that. When we hit 1,000 here on YouTube and we hit 1,000 on Whatnot, which on Whatnot I think we're only like 30-40 away, we'll do that show on Whatnot. So be ready for that. If you're not following on Whatnot, I will have a link down below where you can click it, and if you've never signed up for Whatnot, you can get I think it's $15 credit to use towards any books or anything you want on Whatnot, not just books. But if you're doing it, you got to buy it from me, right? I mean, that's the deal. No, you can use it anywhere on Whatnot. It's just a credit, and if you've never signed up on Whatnot, it's just a bonus for signing up. So I'm gonna go read a little bit and get to bed, and I will catch you guys on the next one.